Everyone, it's Maria here from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am going to be making a Christmas card using Creative Fabrica images because I think they're wonderful. I'm going to be doing something a little different with my card. Basically, I'm going to be using heat transfer vinyl, the foil kind, on this card. Never tried it before. I'm going to try it with you. I know it is possible because there have been other crafters who have shown videos of applying foil heat transfer vinyl onto cards, and I think that it's a much easier way of doing things, especially if you own a Silhouette Cameo or a Brother, a Scan and Cut or a Cricut. And I think personally it's a much easier way. You have more flexibility with what images you can use, SVGs, and instead of being like limited to dies and such. So I think this will be a fun project to do. I'm also going to be using my Cricut Easy Press Mini. You don't have to use this if you don't have one. You can also use a home iron if you wish. So that's the instructions that you get from, with the HTV as well. This, I'm using Caesar Metal Gold Easy Weed. This is a really nice, beautiful, I love this product. I haven't opened it yet, but I have seen people using them and it is phenomenal. So what we'll see next is us doing all of the work on the Silhouette Studio Business Edition software. So the next view you'll see is me at the computer doing that, and we will start creating this from there and see how this all evolves. So I hope you stick with me to this journey. Have fun, and I'll see you at the computer. Okay, everyone, so we're now in my Silhouette Studio Business Edition software. This is the view of the cutting mat with the media size that I will be using, which is A4. But what I would like to create is an A6 size rectangle. So basically, this will be my card front. So I'm going to show you how to put in a pattern into these, into whatever shape you want to draw. And I'm also going to show you how you can then trace an image out of that pattern and make it enlarge and what have you. And I'm also going to show you, of course, how to make a foiled image too, or words, whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do at the moment is go to my media size here and I'm going to change it to A6. And so then when I draw a rectangle, I'll do it to this size so I know exactly what size it is, because I don't remember the dimensions off the top of my head, because I'm just no good with numbers, I've got to be honest. So I've got here my A6 size rectangle and I'm going to make this go back to A4 because that's what I'll be using. Now I want to rotate this around to 90 degrees. So whilst it's highlighted here, I'll go to Object, Rotate, clockwise 90 degrees. You can also pick up your little handle here and you can move it up or down, as you wish, like this and like this. But we'll leave it for the time being straight like that, okay? It's slightly at an angle, but what do you do? Okay, so I'll just go down like that, make it straight. Now, I want to fill this up with the pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go to my library, and this is a beautiful, cute pattern paper I found from Creative Fabrica. So because I highlighted this before, when I go back, this pattern has filled. Now, as you can see, the pattern is on its side, but not to worry. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our fill pattern here. We're going to go to here, and then what we're going to do is rotate the patterns. So we're going to make this go the right way. And we are going to decrease the size. So you have a cute little pattern going on here. Okay, so let me increase the magnification here so you can see what's going on. So that is now filled up. And it's very important that when you get your patterns from Creative Fabrica, that you get a seamless pattern digital paper. So when you fill up your shape, so say for example, I want to make a star. Okay, and I want to fill this up. Okay, I'll just give you as an example, all right, just so we don't confuse things. So I like the way that pattern is and that size. This is brilliant. Now, say, for example, I pick a pattern from Creative Fabrica and it just says digital paper. It doesn't say seamless, though. When I want to go and to fill this, I'll show you one that isn't seamless. I'll highlight the shape. I'll go back to my library and I'm going to pick this one. Okay, that's a nice other Christmas pattern paper I got from Creative Fabrica, as is this, and I think this one as well. But there's just so much variety, it blows your mind. So now I highlighted that, I go back to my design, and there is my design all highlighted. Now I can go here to my scale, and if I want to go down, down, you will see, and I'll increase the magnification here, that this is not a seamless pattern. Because what you're seeing here is lots of little squares, and I'll just increase that even more. Do you see the squares all here? Okay, that is as far as the pattern goes. So it doesn't look seamless. The images look chopped. That's what happens when you do that. So that's why it's very important to go backwards, that you pick a pattern that is seamless. Otherwise you get these little lines and it looks like it's disheveled and horrible. So we're going to delete that. So I'm very happy with this pattern. So I'll just decrease the magnification there. And this is gorgeous. But I want to take an image out of here and I want to highlight it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my open file here and I'm going to go into my I went into my downloads and then I picked the file here and I'm going to pick this one because that's what this is. And this will be all blown up on another tab. See that? So I go backwards. Now, if there is an image here that I want to highlight here, let's go backwards again. And let's say this is the patterns just generally. But what I want to do is I want to highlight one of these two here. Now, say, for example, I want to have the tree or a present. I can pick any of those. I'll just increase the magnification there. But what I want to do is I want to trace this and cut that out of that pattern paper. Kind of like what you do with the Brothers Scan and Cut. So I'm going to go into my trace area and I'm going to use this cutie little here, little reindeer in a cup. I'm going to increase this. I'm going to trace by colour because I think that that's by far the best way to do it. So I'll take the threshold down. I'm going to pick my tool here, my trace colour, and I'm going to put trace and I'll say all areas and then I'll increase the threshold. Like so. And I'll say trace. Then I'm going to click on that again. I'm going to go back to here, trace. Go up. I'm going to say click, trace and detach. I'm going to click on that and delete. Get rid of this one. Don't need that. Delete that. Do this again, and I'm going to clean all these images up. Actually, yes. And I'll say trace and detach. And it's going to do its thing. So now I'm just going to take that off, get rid of all those other noisy bits, and we are done. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now we have our cute little image all done properly. Now this is massive, so I'm going to bring this down. Because that's just way too big, but we will work with this on the mat. So that's our pattern paper done here. I'm going to decrease the size to about, I think there, about there. Maybe a bit bigger. A little bit bigger again. And that will be cute. Okay, we'll increase the magnification here. What I want to do is I'm going to trace this because this is not a cut file, it's just an image. So I'm going to highlight it all to the threshold and we're going to press trace outer edge. Okay. I want to create an offset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that outer image and I am going to get the offset tool, press offset, and I want the offset to be 0.30 and I'll press apply. And then what I want to do is I want to get rid of and I'll increase the magnification, that inner line there. Oops, go backwards when that happens. Pick that inner line and we're going to get rid of it. And these items, if we go like this, become two separate things. So we need them to be one because I want there to be an outside line here. So I'm going to highlight these both. I'm going to right click and say group. So when we move this around the page, it becomes one and it will be a one image. So we're going to put that over here because it's going to be separate. Okay. And this is where now I want to go back a little bit down so we can see the page better. Now this is where we can become an A5 size, so it is to save paper. So let's do A5. Let's see if this works. We'll make this go now. Let's turn this around. And we will do a print and cut. So I'll say registration marks on. And let's see, it won't fit. So we've got to go back to A4. See, we've got to experiment. So go back to A4. Okay, and that allows you to have a print and cut. And let's turn this around here. And leave this here. We're still going to do some more design work, but with the registration marks, we're going to reduce the thickness there. The inset just gives you more room and you can print more, okay? So we'll leave that there. Then what I want to do is a sentiment. Now, I'm going to go to my fonts here and I'm going to use this Merry Christmas font. I'm going to go back to that A here and I'm going to type in Merry Christmas. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to make this go down, and then I'm going to align that better. And this now, I'll just increase the size there so we can see what it looks like. And I will, for example, I'm going to use this golden colour because I'm going to cut that with foil. Now, this seems to be a little, I don't know if I like that font anymore. Let's see. I'll use another font. Let's go. Natalie. No. No. Just going to fiddle around here. Nope. Modern number 20. No. Monkey Rocket. No. That's cute though, but no. No. So just fiddle around and see what we like. Okay, so now these images here, they cut. So what we have to do is, I like that font for some reason. I'm going to create an outline because I think it's a little, we'll just weld it actually. Let's press weld. So going to modify and press weld. So the images are now not all cut off, okay? So if we have a close, what it was before, let's do a close up. Okay, so what it was before here is you can see now there's cuts there and there and there. This will cut out and it's too much. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to highlight these, go to Object and go to Modify and Weld, and the images are now all welded together. So with this one now, I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to group them together. So I'll say group, okay, or actually make compound path. All right, so as you can see, they're all together. Now, what I want to do with this is release compound path because this is not going to work. Okay, so with this now, say with the character spacing, okay, this has to be all done. So I'm going to go back. Okay, when it's all like this, go back to this. That way you can control it. And I'm going to put the line spacing a little closer. You have to do this all before you weld and all before. So I'm learning with you too. Then I'm going to go to Object and press Weld. So go to Modify, Weld. Okay. Then I'm going to make it into a compound path. So it looks like that. I want to create an outline for this. So what I'm going to do here is highlight that, go to my offset window, create offset, and increase it And let's see if we can go down a little more. I want that to be touching each other, okay? So whilst it's all grouped together, I'm going to reduce, oops, go back. All right, I'm going to say group, okay. I'll go back here. I'll say ungroup for the time being because what I want to do now is make this white. So I'm highlighting that one, go to my fill pattern and make it white so you can get to see what's going on here. Then I'm going to take away the Mary, and that's going to be cut with the foil paper, and this is going to be cut here as the file there. So that's what I wanted you to see. So we'll make this all go back. I'm going to reduce the size. I'll say reduce the size. Have a look here. And I'm going to pretend to put this on here and highlight them both. So that's like grouping them together. I'm going to make it go together. So let's go up here. I'm going to make these touch. I think that's the way to go. So then I'm going to remove the Mary. There's a little spot I don't want, so that's going to go. So I'm just going to use my eraser and just get rid of it. Oops, go backwards. I'll say release compound path. Delete that. Then I'm going to make that a compound path again. Okay. Then I'm going to pick the two together and I'm going to right click and go weld. I'll go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this for a second. So I'm going to hold my shift key down. I'm going to click that and that. Right click and press weld. Did it again. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Then I'm going to highlight these both. Right click and say weld. Then this goes send to front. Send to front. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say align center. Forget that. So what I'm going to do is just place it on top. And that looks pretty even all around. And that looks much better. So I'm going to highlight them both. And we're going to press group. So let's go backwards now. I'm going to take out that Merry Christmas. I'm going to highlight this and flip horizontally. So when it's time for me to cut with the vinyl, that's how it has to be cut. Okay. So we're going to bring this down. I'm going to bring this over. Bring this down. I'm going to do a print and cut. I'm going to go backwards, pan out. Now with the these marks here, I'm going to go to the advanced options, and the bottom insert, which is this one over here, needs to come up. So I'm going to make it come up. So it will print and cut around that. And the reason is that so I can print and cut these out. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to print and cut these with my Silhouette. And then when we come back, I will stop using this this view here of the computer screen. And all I'll be doing is I'll be just cutting this with my Silhouette. And you will see that as the Silhouette is actually cutting the vinyl. Okay, so I will see you back shortly. So I am now back from my Silhouette, and I'm just going to take off the excess cardstock. Okay, so we can save quite a bit of this cardstock. So we can save the sides, up here, even around here, and best of all, we can make more card fronts and what have you. That's how much we can save by just adjusting these registration marks. So we'll put that to the side and use it for another project. And look how this turned out. I'll just take this off the mat. I'll do this upside down. Stops the paper from curling, and I'll get rid of all the other stuff as well. And we have one more little piece there that we can get rid of. So I'll now show you everything up close. So this is all the cutout now. So that's how that looks. Isn't that perfect? I just love the cameo so much. And that is our card front. Isn't that cute? And then when we put this on, this will be like so. Right? How cute is that? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just put that to the side for a moment. And I'm going to get my Caesar vinyl, my foil vinyl. So I'll show you the instructions as well. So I'm just going to put that here. Look at that perfect foil. I'm telling you, I'm a convert to this, and this is the way I'll be foiling all of my images from now on and cutting them out with my Silhouette because it's just much easier. So, with a home iron, as I say, you mirror cut this, and what you do is you need it on a hard, flat surface. So, if you don't own fancy heat mats or anything like that, you need like a chopping board, and you can heat it on that because a chopping board is heat resistant for quite a bit. So you can use your iron on that. The recommended temperature for the iron is dry iron, and the iron, it needs to be like a lowish temperature. So say, doesn't have the exact things here. Ironing board's not recommended. Set home iron to cotton setting and no steam. And then that way you can apply it on there for that. If you want to use this now on some garments and you want to use a heat press, you will need to look up the website, the Segoe website, and they will tell you exactly what temperature you need to use a heat press. I'm using the heat press, the Cricut Easy Press Mini, and that will be on the lowest setting, but I will show you that soon. So what I'm going to do is, if you're using a home iron, it's got to be the cotton setting with no steam and on a chopping board rather than an ironing board, okay? So I'll be back. I'm going to now cut up some of this HTV. So just give me a second. I'll go and have a look on my computer exactly what size it is. I'll cut it down and I'll put it onto my heat press, onto my mat here. So give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to size because I really don't need all of this. So what I'm going to do is cut down I'm going to do about 2 inches wide. So I'm just going to use my cutting mat here as a guide. So 2, and then I'm going to go around 4 1/4 inches. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 over to about here. And that should do me. Okay, so I've now finished cutting the vinyl, and as you can see here are the letters. It's very close stuff. What I need to do is just get rid of the inner part, so I'm going to weed it out. This is a weeding tool. This is from Cricut, but you can get many different brands of weeding tools off Amazon, craft stores, wherever you want, okay? So I'm going to use this hook part and get rid of the inner parts of this. So that's what you'll see me do. And as you can see, that part has come off. All right. And then I just find it's easier to weed also on top of the mat here, the sticky mat. So we'll get rid of this part here. And that's it. Okay, so we're now going to get rid of the outside, what we don't need. So you have to be very, very careful as you're removing it. So I'll stick that down and then just give it also a little bit of a helping hand with your weeding tool. And because these letters are really, really thin, make sure you take your time. Now, when it comes to the eyes, that little dot on top tends to come off. So I'm going to just pull that up and keep my weeding tool down on that eye, that little dot on the eye, and then that way it stays on. But I weed this way, and that way it doesn't just come off. And I love Segoe Easy Weed because, as the name implies, it weeds easily. And that's what you're left with, okay? Stunning foil effect without the hassle of foil and heating it up with a laminator, and you may get like a hit and miss result. And here is the Merry Christmas all cut out. Isn't that phenomenal? Okay, so I'll bring back all the bits and pieces, and when you can then put it down onto the cardstock there. And position that all to make sure it's in the right spot. So we'll just have a little fiddle here. Make sure it all sits in the right place. Take your time and get it right. Don't rush, don't worry. And I think that looks pretty much all done. So I'll just take my wedding tool there and bring that up. So that will look spectacular, foiled and everything. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to take you over. Oh, now I've just need to reposition it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to the heat press area, and I'll explain a little bit of what you need to have there and what I have as my setup. And then if you have a similar setup, you go on your merry way. So we will get this all organised at the heat press, and then I'll be back. So now I have come to where my area is for my heat press. So this is the Cricut Mini. It is really cute. I'm now going to turn this on to that one, if you can see that, to that first one there. So I'm going to let this heat up. It doesn't take very long, just so you know. I'm just going to just zoom you out a little so you can see. Sorry, I've got a chopping board here on the side where my stand is on at the moment over my stove. This is the best place for me to use this in order to show you without using extension cords and the like. So as you can see now, that's heated up and it's on that one, so it's nice and gentle. Now I've already positioned the heat transfer vinyl, the foil or metal heat transfer vinyl onto my little bit here, onto my die cut. I'm going to use a Teflon sheet over the top of that area so you can still see through that. I'll move this away for a second there. And I'm just going to heat press onto here. Now, you're apparently supposed to hold on to it for 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm just going to count to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then I'm going to move over to the next section. I'm going to do it this way. Do it this way now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do it here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do that on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And make sure I've got it here. And just do it all around, okay? And because it's on paper, you don't need the highest temperature, but I'm just going to make sure that I iron this down. Now, this is my heat press mat. As I said, you can use a chopping board. Now, it says for you to peel cold. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this on. I'm going to move it over. And I'm going to take the heat press mat underneath on my cold bench and keep it under there so it doesn't curl up. Now, this mat is actually cold underneath and it insulates the heat well. So I'm just going to let that cool down on the bench and put it underneath there because the mat is quite heavy, just to stop that from curling up. And it needs to be peeled cold. This one needs to be peeled cold. Normally, the HTV from Caesar is warm peel, but this is a cold peel. So This has now cooled down. So I'm going to carefully peel off and it is now done. Isn't that perfect? Alright, so I'll take you over to the craft desk and we're going to finish making this card. So I'll see you again shortly. Okay, so I now have my bits and pieces back, and here is the Merry Christmas close up with that gorgeous little reindeer. And how perfect is that foiling basically? I think it turned out really, really well. I prefer this method to foiling rather than using dies and a foiling system like the glimmer stuff and all of that from Spellbinders. This is only $20 roughly here in Australia. Of course, it'll be cheaper elsewhere. Normally everything in Australia is a lot more expensive. But this is perfect. Like, that's the heat transfer vinyl. You use your Cricut or your Silhouette, you cut that out, and look at that, it's not even sticky. And you need the heat. So all you need is a home iron on the cotton setting, no steam, and you just press it down for 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how big your iron is. I use the Cricut Easy Press Mini, and I use it on the first setting as I showed you before. And look at that, it is perfect. You can even do a whole card like that. It is entirely up to you. I'm going to use Whisper white cardstock, basic white cardstock from Stampin' Up. Use whatever you like, whatever's in your stash, whatever color you want, and with, you know, match it with how you want to use your images and the like. So I'm just going to cut this cardstock in half. Okay, and then I'm going to score it in half. Use whatever dimensions you like, there's no right or wrong. It's just, you know, you just do what, you know, makes you happy, basically. So this cardstock now, I'm just going to fold it in half and burnish it. And after that, it's easy. Now, with this cardstock, with these cards, you can mass produce these. You can cut as many of these as you like on this. And then just weed them all out and have them ready for you to use on your cards. So mass producing cards like this, if you do them in large amounts, is easily done with your Silhouette or your Cricut. I'm going to trim this cardstock down. So I'm going to trim it down on this side, 1/4 of an inch, that way. And I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch this way as well. Okay. And so now I'm going to put this on top of my card base. And that looks really, really, really cute. So I'm going to glue that down. And of course, feel free to use whatever pattern paper you want, whether it's print and cut or, you know, ones you buy from, you know, your stores. It doesn't really matter. Just use what you like. But also just use your Cricuts, your Silhouettes, Brothers Scan and Cuts to your advantage, because there's so many cool things that you can do with them. And I love Creative Fabrica. They're fabulous. That's where I got my pattern paper from. They have all sorts of stuff. And it's super easy to create with them. So that's the card base done. And then we're going to put this on top. I'm going to do that like that. We're going to pop this up now onto dimensionals. If you don't like my style, that's cool. Change it up with how you prefer it as well. No right or wrong here. Just go with the flow and have fun with it. So I will need more dimensionals. Use whatever dimensional adhesives you have in stock. Got this off. Okay, and now we're just going to stick these on here. Oh, there's a bit that didn't come out. I can use my weeding tool and poke that out too. You can also use this as a pokey tool too if you wish. Sky's the limit. Okay, get that off. That looks phenomenal. I love that. So we'll stick that on here. I should have cut this down a little less, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go with the flow now. But you can, of course, change it the way you wish to be. I think it looks great. And this is the perfect foiling for me. If you find foiling a bit of a pain and you get a lot of hit and miss results, I would say go for this any metallic foil, heat transfer vinyl, or even permanent vinyl. But I find heat transfer vinyl's better because you have room to wiggle it around, and all you need is a home iron if you don't have any of those fancy heat presses. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. All the images and fonts and everything will be linked in the description box below. And I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment below. And if you haven't already, please share, like, and subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. Thank you guys so much. Hope it gives you awesome ideas for Christmas. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.